This was our season finale because we didn't want to read this book the most, so it got pushed.
I think the top line information that you should know is picture a G.I. Joe, and that is both of these authors.
Also, this book costs $38 in Canada. Sorry, Canada. That blows.
Wow.
Okay. It's not right.
Well, it might discourage people from buying it, which actually kind of works out.
So I think as a listicle, I really enjoyed the content. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mean Book Club. This week, we read Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin.
Okay, it's the Dichotomy of Leadership, but you put a nice warmth on welcome, and I appreciated that.
Thank you.
And some of you might not have recognized that wasn't Sarah introducing the cast.
No, it wasn't. It was your host, Sabrina B. Jordan.
I'm another host, Clara A. Morris.
And I'm a third host, Jonna L. Scrabus. And guess what? The cat's away and the mice are playing.
Heck yeah.
That's us. That's us. That's us.
We're the mice.
Sarah's absent today. If
Yeah,
that wasn't clear.
Absent. But the thing is, she's still recording this for us on the Zoom.
Yes.
And I think our voices are just loose in her house right now. And her Zoom screen is up, and I'm scared a little bit.
It's so crazy. I can't express to you that it's so wild that the solution that we came to was Sarah's the quote host of it, and she just logged in for us and set it and forget it.
A little set it and forget it on the Zoom, and she goes into another room, and we look at her empty chair. And our voices she can hear us if she's listening.
I can hear us, and that's a little scary. You know what I mean? Like she could listen and hear anything at any moment.
Yeah, we were talking about all the fun stuff we would do since she's gone, but at any moment we could be scolded.
I don't like that.
No. Oh my God.
Mike just walked in. Mike just walked in. I thought it was Sarah. I got scared.
I thought it was Sarah. It was very scary.
Okay, he just gave a warm wave.
It does seem like proof that he could hear us.
No, I feel like he can't hear us. He would give us a little wiggle right now if he could hear us.
Okay, maybe she muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel more.
This is good content, right?
Yeah. So, okay.
We are Mean Book Club.
We are Mean Book Club. We read New York Times bestsellers that you tell us shouldn't be, and we whine about them.
Mm-hmm. While drinking.
Sometimes we drink.
Nailing the description.
Okay. Check.
Sometimes some of our hosts are not able to drink, so the ones of us who can drink double.
Drink a little more in their honor.
So I was going to ask, why do we read this? And I'm still going to ask it, but I am the person to answer it. So that's kind of funny, but
just a little funny.
Yeah. Okay. So why do we read it? You might be wondering. Well, it's because Hayden Y recommended it to us via Instagram. Hayden says, "Hi, I work in corporate America and my husband and I love y'all's podcast. Okay. My manager just told me that in order to start my quote roadmap to a promotion, we are going to start reading a book on leadership. I was fine with this as I'm looking into better opportunities elsewhere and don't need to turn in annotations weekly as I'm no longer in AP English class. However, I looked up the book and thought you all might enjoy ripping it to shreds as I have. It's called Dichotomy of Leadership. It's all based on military principles of leadership and their loose application in the corporate world. Please read this book. It's so bad. 5 exclamation points, 5 forward slashes.
I want you to take note of the names of the authors of this book. Jocko and Leif, just in case you were like, I wonder if this book is hyper masculine to a degree that's comical. You'd be right. One of the authors is literally named Jocko. And I want to, it's not like Jocko, like he's French. It's Jocko.
Jocko.
Like like Jock from an 80s movie with an O for nickname time.
Yeah. How did you guys read this book?
I got an audiobook from the library. I listened to it very fast, 2x speed. I don't usually go that fast. Usually do like a 1.25. And so I really felt like the reader was yelling at me the whole time because I think it had a little bit of that at regular speed. And then when you speed it up, just the military of it all sort of read like it's yelling at you.
That makes sense. I read the hardback book, and let me tell you, this is the worst book cover I've ever experienced.
Oh my God.
I want to obviously judge a book by its cover, but
that's the whine song.
It's Judge a Book.
It's Judge a Book, right? That's Judge a Book, Claire. You got confused. They're similar but different.
You got confused.
It's black and white, okay? And there is one little trident, like from Ariel's dad.
I think that's
the word leadership.
I think that's the Navy SEAL pin mark. Okay. So I don't know that we can make fun of that.
Well, we can make fun of how it's making up the E in leadership.
Yeah, that is.
I think that's it's forced. Okay, here's why it's bad.
Okay.
Fine to use the Navy SEAL thing. If you're gonna make it the E, make it the E. Don't also have the E there.
I agree. It's just over top of a letter E. And let me tell you, the font that they chose actually is a really ugly font. It's like Arial
caps lock.
Sans serif. I think it's trying to be quite masculine. Yes. Sight. Can you hold it up to the camera? Can I see it?
Yeah, take a look at that.
Oh yeah.
If you can manage to keep your eyes open while you look at it, and
the way the trident, it's almost like looks like it's crossing off part of the word.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's so crazy.
It's very confusing.
Also, this book costs $38 in Canada. Sorry, Canada. That blows.
Wow.
Okay. It's not right.
Well, it might discourage people from buying it, which actually kind of works out. We're not the intended audience for the book.
No. Oh wait, I have to say how I read it because I know everyone cares. I started with a YouTube series of videos that did have ads, and then my hold was lifted at the library and I listened to the audiobook. And what I'll say is this is a book where you could skip 10 minutes and the sentence that you would jump to would every time pick up exactly from where you left off.
Yeah, that's right.
It was wild.
Because they were always just saying dichotomy. They kept literally saying, and that's the dichotomy of leadership. All right, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Hello. And then there were two.
Oh my
Claire's
God.
computer is having a little freak out.
And so, yeah, you are blessed with us. And this is actually like a perfect segue to this statement because when Sarah had texted us earlier that she could not do the cast tonight, she said, I think this might be the first one you all have to do without me. And it, in fact, is not the first time that we are recording without her. There was another time when it was me and Jonna in a live show with, we did have a guest with us, but we didn't have Sarah and we didn't have Clara.
Wow, that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really brave of us.
I know. Yeah. And right now we're being brave again. So I feel like we could do the summary. And this is so weird. Oh my God. This is me having the power of the secret.
Yes.
There's only 2 roles in the summary that I wrote.
And some people say the secret isn't real.
How
Look
could
at
they
what's
think
happening
that?
right now. You willed this to happen. You willed Sarah to not be here and for Clara's computer to have a little freak out.
This is crazy.
You're
Truly
too
crazy.
powerful. Mhm,
Wow.
mhm. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, I
I'm
feel
ready.
gross. Okay.
I know. So, you've been given a lot of power and you have to make sure not to abuse it.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to give you the role of the narrator and I'll be the role of the voiceover.
Okay, and in your mind, who's kind of winning the part war?
You have the better role for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really nice of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am narrator. Okay. And I'm also a big army.
Oh yeah, that's just like that's a stage direction more.
So I'll just try to embody that as I read that I am
Yeah.
as the narrator, I am a big army.
Yeah. You are big army. It's like
I am big army, capital B, capital A.
yeah.
Got it. I'm not physically a big army.
Right,
A
exactly. It's
sentient
like
army. I'm big,
yeah.
big
You're
army.
like big tech. You're big army.
I got it. Okay. Summary. I remember back in the war when we were in the trenches, there were 14,000 wounded troops and only a handful of healthy ones. We needed to get back to base camp. Suddenly,
Boom, 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 boom.
the enemy was encroaching. We had to make a choice, leave all the wounded troops or carry all them out on our backs to safety. At that time, I was thinking to myself, WWJD, or what would Jocko do? I looked to McNulty, which is a made-up name for one of the guys I was with. He told me about his wife and kids back home. He had 3 sons who all wanted to be in the military, and it gave him great pride, but also great pain. Blah, 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 blah.
This story
blah,
continues
blah,
for
blah,
30
blah,
minutes.
blah, blah, blah. So again, I asked myself, what would Jocko do? He would lead. And to lead, he would balance the questions at hand. If we carry all the wounded soldiers ourselves, do we risk injuring even more people? As discussed in our first book, Extreme Ownership, you have to extremely own your decision. And the premise of this book is that you have to use balance in how you lead. So own and balance. In the example of the wounded soldiers, we realized it didn't have to be all or nothing. We could balance it. So we carried as many as we could without losing additional lives.
Boom, 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 boom.
Blah, blah, blah. Also, this works in business too. Help out your struggling employees, unless it will make other employees die. Once other business associates start to die, then you stop helping those that struggle. Did we mention we also wrote another book? The name
Boom.
of that book is Extreme Ownership.
Boom, 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 boom.
Really? So, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Really good. There's an art to doing the summaries, and I did not know until I had to start doing them myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Like they don't always make themselves so obvious what they're going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I think like now that everyone has done it, it
Mhm.
makes so much more sense. And I think Sarah has really come around to like she used to be like, don't give any of the plot away. But then we get so far afield in the discussion that
Yeah. That we
if
end
you-
up having to go, okay, well, we should explain.
right,
And
exactly.
I don't think people are listening to this podcast in real time as they are reading the book. So they're like,
No.
wait, no, I still have 50 more pages to go, and we're only halfway through the podcast, and you're revealing already. Like, I think they either read it or they don't.
Yeah, I think so. Write in. Let us know.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we
Okay.
not only have that incredible summary, but we do have a wine pairing today. Okay.
Jana's jugs.
Okay. Let me tell you something about this jug. This is a real recommendation. I'm serious. Go out and buy this wine. You will not be disappointed. It is an excellent wine. It is called 3. And the word 3 is written on the front in 3 different ways. It showed the number 3. It's written as a Roman numeral, and it's spelled out THRE. THRE. however you spell it. Okay. It's called 3. There's a little moon and some wood grains on the front. And it is a 2020 Zinfandel from Contra Costa County, which is in the USA, which is why this wine is a good pairing, because the book is about America from sea to shining sea. And this is a California red. And it is truly a wonderful red. And I also want to tell you this. If you're in the New York City area, I got it at this wonderful winery called Moore Brothers. And they give you an entire printout piece of paper of tasting notes on the wine you purchased, and even a little picture of the wine at the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
so this?
This like?
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Well, I don't concern myself with things like that.
Sure.
When you're living luxuriously, you just spend. And this was a luxurious purchase. But
I appreciate that.
The other thing is they keep they should sponsor us, okay? Like libraries also should, because I'm just being unabashedly enthusiastic about their company. But they have your name on file and they remember the wines you purchased. So if you are like, I like this one wine, I can't remember it, they'll go through your purchase history and help you find it again.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They also do that at Aesop, which is a store that I buy lotion and soap from sometimes.
We're talking about Moore Brothers right now.
Okay.
But whoa, Aesop is a fancy store. When you walk
I know.
by, you think, what is that, an olive oil store?
Right?
But it's lotion. Or you even think, maybe, is that a wine store?
Yes. It really does. Like really expensive, nice wine.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. I love it. I love commerce.
Wow. An ideal consumer.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the authors of this book. I did a little research.
Okay, as did I.
I would gladly have you fill in any information.
Sure.
I think the top line information that you should know is picture a G.I. Joe, and that is both of these authors. A blondish G.I. Joe. And that is what they embody.
Yeah, I think easy go-to, hop on over to their Instagram accounts. Jocko's is really scary. It's only black and white photos, and they alternate between a wait and then a stopwatch that stopped at some time, and I don't understand why it stopped at the time it stopped at, but it scares me a lot.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Back
What's
and forth.
Leafs like?
Leafs is more like normal in the sense that it is just pictures of Leaf, but Jocko's are the stopwatch, and then they say things like, get up, go again. And I don't know what we're going towards or why, but I know I want no part of it.
Wow. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So Jocko, you may be wondering, is that his birth name? It is not. His birth name is John Gretton Willink Jr., born September 8th, 1971. He is, as you all know, an author. He's also a podcaster and, you guessed it, a retired United States Navy officer who served in the Navy SEALs and is a former member of SEAL Team 3. His military service includes the Iraq War, and he's a pretty decorated veteran. He has co-authored the books Extreme Ownership and The Dichotomy of Leadership with fellow retired SEAL Leif Babin, and also co-founded the management consulting firm Echelon Front LLC. This is interesting. He hosts a weekly podcast with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner Echo Charles called the Jocko Podcast. Mm-hmm. He also has a BA in English from the University of San Diego.
Okay, now that's something I can relate to for the first time. Pretty much everything up to this point was something extremely foreign to me that generally I want no part of.
Yeah, yeah.
We're majors. How fun, Jocko.
Both of you have your little English degrees.
Yep.
He also started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think we're going back out. I have done a lot of martial arts, so this is a somewhat relatable to me. I
Okay.
didn't like it at the time, but then I have many times in my life regretted giving up on martial arts.
So you took it as a child, right?
Yes, and then
So-
in college as well.
Okay. So what, you're a kid black belt?
I quit just before getting my black belt. Like
Okay.
so close before it that it's crazy.
Okay. So let's just call you a black belt because you quit. So
I'm not
close.
though, and so my hands are not lethal.
Okay. But like a 6-year-old black belt, you're telling me there's the same skill set, same degree of lethalness as a real full human black belt.
Sometimes even more lethal, you know?
I'm really asking because I don't understand.
Oh, no, I mean, I think, look, with anything, size matters, I guess is what I was gonna say.
I guess I don't understand how a child could ever be a black belt. Like, I mean, look, if I want to pick up a 6-year-old, I'm going to pick them up black belt or not. I mean, they're not
So it's
overtaking me with their little strength.
Yeah,
I
it
win
is
every
really
time.
interesting. More in judo, being small does not prevent you from picking up and throwing another person. It's very interesting.
Yes. I just feel that despite having no martial arts training myself in any way, I could make pretty quick work of a child black belt.
So I think the earliest you could get a black belt
Okay.
realistically is like if you started as young as they let you, which is 4,
Okay.
and then did it very consistently until you're like 10.
But you're
So-
telling me you think a 10-year-old, one single 10-year-old child black belt is stronger than me?
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I
That's
mean,
that's outrageous.
I don't think they're stronger than Jocko,
Right.
but you maybe.
So you could start your 4, you could be a black belt when you're 10, and then you're just for the rest of your life, you're a black belt and you're like, my hands are lethal weapons.
Maybe you'd even need to be like 12 or 13. I'm like trying to remember how old I was when I quit. And I
nobody calls
started
them out. The
at
system's
5.
bullshit, Sabrina. No one's
Yeah.
calling these people out.
Well, also like, being a black belt doesn't necessarily mean you're the strongest. That's not what martial arts is. It's like you're the most skilled in the art.
Okay. Huh.
Tang Soo Do, Master Owen, Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay. I don't understand it, and I refuse to try to learn more about it.
Wow. Well, it's pretty cool. And Jocko agrees. And that's why he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Fabio Santos while in active service. And he continued training after he retired from the military. He is a black belt and he's a prominent figure in the sport. He's taught many a grappler. He promoted his own daughter to blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in September 2022. Something I think that is interesting about him is that this and Extreme Ownership are not his only books. He seems to have written a number of books, including children's books. And then Leif Babin, a lot less about him on the internet, served
Less
as
of a
a
presence. On
served as a
Instagram as
Navy
well.
SEAL for 9 years. He was in combat in Iraq. And he formed Echelon Front with Jocko, which is a leadership training group that uses the lessons and expertise the pair learned as SEALs to train leaders beyond the military. So
look, here's the situation we've gotten ourselves into, Hayden. You think I'm going to come on this podcast and ridicule 2 Navy SEALs that served in Iraq for leaving the military and founding a leadership company and then writing 2 books about leadership? My hands are tied. I mean, they're good for them. Very good for them.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm-
honestly, the quick background of the book, New York Times bestseller in business, the months of October, November 2018.
An instant bestseller,
Yeah.
but in business. So
Which is a monthly one, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's the field you got to get in, though. We could do that. But okay, so it was a New York Times bestseller. What else do we know?
that's kind of where my research stopped.
Okay. A little quick research.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else do you need to know about this book? It's another self-help book. Like I said last week, if there was any real benefit to them at all, you would think better things would be happening in all of our lives. And yet, here we are.
Well, there is a big benefit to them. The secret.
The secret.
Oh my God, it looks like Clara is coming back.
Yeah, that's I didn't mean to sigh so loudly when you said Clara coming back. It was
Hey, why did you sigh at all?
It was Sabrina started talking about the secret again, Clara, to be honest. That was the reaction.
Oh God, I'm so sorry you've been alone for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clara was texting us throughout, trying to get back on the recording.
Yeah. Did you guys wait?
Yeah, we sat in silence. She said at one point she took her computer and tried plugging it into a new outlet. She said, could that be the issue? The walls of the house?
That was the
was
issue.
the
I
issue?
think. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that I thought it was charging and it wasn't because it's plugged into a bad outlet. So I kept trying to do things and it kept dying, coming back for a second. I try to do something like restart, it dies again. So I got a new outlet.
So listeners, if you were wondering why we're in the situation where Sarah has to have us logged in on her computer to record for us.
Well, how is that my fault that the outlet doesn't work and that I thought the thing was charging all day?
Claire, your poor little computer gives you so many warnings when it's about to die. It says,
well, it didn't this time. It didn't
comes
this
up
time.
and it says, please, I'm a little low.
It didn't this time.
Please, sir.
And then
it
gets
didn't,
to
or I
like
would have
10%.
known.
It's like, seriously, I'm getting
Okay,
scared.
yeah. It gives me one warning when it's at like 3%, and it didn't do it this time. Or if it did, it got hidden by the Zooms and the garage bands. Okay, where were you guys?
Okay.
We were just getting into the book.
Yeah.
No, but we have to pause that because now you're back. We can have a little fun.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Well, we just wanted to like talk about all the new rules now that Sarah's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now that we're free, unhindered.
Yeah.
Clara, are you scared of the empty room that we're recording into?
No, I'm just trying to. I was gone for so long. I'm just trying to remedy how long I was gone for, and that you guys said you were just getting into the book.
Well, we waited for a while at a long.
Okay.
We waited
I imagined
for like, honestly 15 minutes.
Ourselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like freaking out, like, oh, I read this book for nothing. They're gonna get so far in it.
Okay, no, we didn't hardly at all. Okay. Well, one idea I had for a segment since Sarah isn't here, is Princess of the Pod.
Sabrina's idea.
That was my idea.
What are you talking about?
Let's just try to be a united front, okay? It doesn't matter whose idea was.
Oh my God.
It was one of those ideas that was out there for the grabbing.
Clara, I'll just have you know how I noticed how quickly you came in with the truth there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't let. That was ridiculous.
So
were you
Princess of
trying
Pod,
to play it off like I'm just doing a transition and it's just easiest if I say it was my idea to introduce it?
Easy. It's one of those ideas. I don't know who said it, but it was in the ether. You know what I mean? So it's
ether, I think.
Ether.
She's only ever read.
I've only ever read it. It's true. This is my first time trying to say it. Damn it. It means you're smart when you don't know how to say certain words. It means you're really well read and you're really smart. So,
but not super popular. Don't talk to a lot of people.
Or maybe everyone's afraid of me and they don't dare correct
That
me.
still makes you unpopular.
So the way Princess of the Cast works is we vote for who we think is the Princess of the Cast, and I think it would make sense if we have it. We do it every cast, but it can only be founding members of the princess segment. So that would just leave it for the three of us. We wouldn't be able to, like, a guest wouldn't be eligible, or if another host came on in a future date, that host would not be eligible.
Whoever that host may be.
Hypothetically, it would be
So
kind of
we're
just
the
like founding
three
member.
founding members. And if a guest gets it, it's kind of like just an honorary degree type thing.
Completely.
Yes.
Like, we don't mean it, but you didn't really graduate from Penn State.
Yeah.
But like, it is different, I think, if it's a guest as opposed to like a host who's not here right now, because it's like students who don't pass all the classes, they're not getting the degree at the end. Even though, like a celebrity, though, the honorary degree, just a different thing.
Yeah. It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
But that's a hypothetical, a host who isn't here getting it, so we don't have to worry about that too much.
No.
Yeah.
Should we do it now, or I guess we should do it at the end to see who's
at the end? I guess we'll do it.
Jonna, that's in your best interest, I think.
Yeah, to get some distance.
I felt that now. I did. I was actually pitching it to do it now, but I think I thought about it more, and we should wait. Because just so much can happen now and when we vote for favorite or least favorite.
Yeah.
I have a little act out idea as well.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
You want to do that right up top before we talk about the book? Right. You're just excited. Should I call Sarah? This is really off the rails.
We're doing our best here.
What I was thinking is how funny it is that, he gives all this advice on how to be a good leader, but what it always boils down to is just at some point, well, I don't want to spoil the act out, but I don't know if you remember, Clara, the scene where he's talking to the regional manager of the mining company. The mining guy's like, you don't understand what it's like to lead these employees. And then he jumps in and reveals something about himself. I thought that might be a fun act out.
Yeah, I think it will be, but maybe we should wait a second.
It will be later, yeah.
That doesn't change my mind about waiting.
All right, then I guess what do you want to do?
Okay. Let's get into it.
Go back to the outline, just the order of things. So we do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, mini Sarah. Sarah 2.0.
I think I'm ready to talk about this book. I've got a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
I read it and I took notes.
Okay, go.
Something that there are a couple things.
Okay.
It was very consistent. The top of the book gave you an outline of what they were going to do throughout the book. I love that. I love knowing what's coming. And then there was definitely a format to this book. Every chapter started with a long war story. Then there was like a principle that they were trying to teach you about the dichotomy of leadership. And then there was a reference to the first book and how this was already talked about in their first book. And then there was like how you could apply this to business. And that is how every chapter went. But it was like,
and it was like an anecdote of how you could apply it to business.
Exactly.
Like another little story.
And if the chapter was like 50 minutes long, 50, the war story was 45 of those minutes.
Honestly, I think I like that better than.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know
else.
how you could like say the principle much longer. Yeah, like the conciseness of how they said the principles was interesting because it was so divergent from how long the other parts were.
I think that I liked it because it made, to me, a pretty funny contrast where they're talking about this war story and it's pretty serious about, bullets and stuff. And then it comes into like, these condos are losing money and that's comparable to the death story I just told. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's sort of a shame that that's how you make money after army time.
Well, I guess, okay, here's the other thing I'm going to reveal. We got Sarah to smile at us. Wow, she'd be so disappointed in how far we are. I liked it Other than
liked
the
it?
war stories. Yeah. The war stories were
What?
they're not for me.
Mhm.
I I didn't like how long they were, and I really, really did not enjoy John the audiobook.
Yeah.
It would interject loud machine gun sounds like all in the background, and I like was listening on
God.
the subway, and one of them was particularly loud, and I like actually thought I was hearing gunshots.
Oh
I
no.
did
Oh
not like
no.
that at
Oh
And
all.
you're
no.
not even a military veteran.
Y-
Like I
Yeah.
imagine a primary audience of this book. Maybe let's not include that
Mm-hmm. Very
scary
triggering.
trigger. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. It made me feel like I was at the movies.
Mm.
Oh, you
So I
love
kind
that.
of liked it. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked it
Yeah.
because it made it more like a story, and I could pretend it didn't really happen to people.
Yeah.
And made it more
I think
fictional for me.
maybe this is why I don't like war movies, is that I don't like the sound of machine guns. I just don't like it.
That's
But I don't know. I thought a lot of their principles were really good. And unfortunately, I felt that they were not concepts that all leaders I know have a good grasp of, but something they should.
I agree that most leaders do not grasp these concepts. I also will say I'm not surprised that you loved a self-help book. I disagree that I like got a lot out of it only because
Didn't say that. Didn't say that.
okay, you said you liked it.
Like, sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
My issue was I feel like they would introduce a topic and I'd be like, okay, so as a leader, you got to take ownership. And then in the next chapter, they'd be like, so this person was taking ownership. Well, they took the ownership too far. And
Mhm.
now they're micromanaging. And I was like, okay, so take ownership, but don't micromanage. And then the next chapter, it would be like, okay, but then they didn't micromanage enough. And so now their ship is a little too loosey goosey. So
Yeah.
it just
Mhm.
felt like it was just example after example of like, see, all you have to do is this and watch how this person fails at it.
Mhm. And it also seemed a bit simplistic. I will agree that most of the leaders, of the bad leaders I've had in work and stuff, don't grasp these simple concepts. But it also seemed like stuff I don't need a war story to understand. It's like pretty simple.
But probably the smallest brain amongst us.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
true.
that brain size is really that much. It's maybe
But
density.
you'd admit you do have probably the smallest brain of everyone.
Well, I have the smallest head, so
So
I mean it's chock full of brains. And it's very dense.
They're like coming out your eyes.
It's
I
pushing
think
on my eyes.
I think the war stories, I agree with you. Like, I don't need them to grasp the concepts, but I feel like half of the audience of this book is there to hear the war stories.
Yeah.
And so, from an authorial perspective, great move. Like, you're getting people who want to learn about business and also those who just want to hear war stories.
well, I mean, the war stories were my favorite part of the book because it
Same.
was some action. It kept me
Ugh.
page turning a little bit. I
Mhm.
think sometimes books
And
like
it's
this
not
can
something
be
I
really
know
dry.
about.
Yeah, exactly. And it really, I do feel like they don't talk down to you in the war stories section. They explain things. They even give you pronunciations of things so that as a reader, I know you guys were odd book, but
Mhm.
as a reader, you know, sometimes you get tripped up and you only see a word written and you don't know if it's ether or ether, and you never know until you really late
Being
in life.
recorded.
Until you be recorded. And so, you know, it's nice that they would explain what
I can
things meant.
I can see how
Not
you would
stated.
think the war stories were too long if you weren't taking them as sort of an entertainment value, but like as for teaching that you have to sometimes be mean, even though you really like your employees for teaching
Yeah.
that. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get that like he was too lax And then that's the moral of the story. I don't need that to go on. But I think like the details of just thinking about Navy SEALs was interesting to me. Like that long story about the guy who they fired essentially because he was like, he's strong enough, he's athletic enough, he's loyal enough, he's smart too, but he panics. It's like, oh, hey, I never thought about that, but you can't be you have to be really a strong person inside and outside, huh?
Yeah.
So like those little reveals.
Claire was like, I would never be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. And that's what would disqualify me from being a Navy SEAL. Interesting. But like, so just thinking about new stuff. Whereas like the overall lesson, the point of the story was like, sometimes you have to fire people even if you like them, which is like, yeah, I get it. I fucking get it. So if you're just seeing the means to the end, I could see how that would make it feel a bit draggy. But
there were two examples though, where he would tell a story about the military and he'd be like, do you know how this incredible captain got his squadron to listen? Well, he simply said, if they didn't learn how to reprogram their radios, they weren't going to go across this line. And he just took a hard line and he said they'd be punished. And then the next chapter, he's like, so one thing you don't want to do as a leader is just tell people that they're going to be punished. Nobody likes that. And it's always seemed to me like, seems like the difference in your example is that a military person was doing it. And so that's why it worked in that case. But this time it's just the regional manager of a paper company. And
well, that's The Office, and that didn't happen. There was no regional manager of a paper company. I need to tell people so they don't get their hopes up. Okay, go on.
Okay, but yeah,
regional manager of something.
Well, the regional manager. It was always a regional manager, which is I've never met a person in real life that's a regional manager. It seems like it's a job only for TV and cartoons.
Yeah, that's true.
But every character is a regional manager, but no people are. But yeah, it seemed like I honestly was like confused sometimes. Like I'd be like, what is the difference between the example that worked in your mind in this case, because it was in the military, and then now this example that's not working because it's happening.
I have to say though, company. I felt as though it was really relatable. Like I feel like life is like work life is that contradictory. And I felt like that they tried to give concrete advice, which like sometimes I think like the advice was like a little far afield, but it was like, okay, know when to be rigid and know when to like be lax. And the example they gave is like, okay, be rigid if the thing you're protecting against is extremely harmful to the company. If the thing that you're protecting against is not extremely harmful to the company, be lax. And I thought that was like a good, like concrete type of advice. Yeah, you have to figure out for yourself what's harmful and what's not, but like they can't predict that for every business scenario.
Advice, but like the whole challenge is figuring out what is extremely harmful and what's not, because it's very easy for anyone to agree like, you're right, yes, I'll be more flexible about things that aren't important. But like, think about even in your own life, when it comes down to what could be a small decision, sometimes things that feel small, or like the things that are maybe fundamentally small, feel huge in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is extremely harmful. The type of bread we're buying today is extremely harmful if it's not the right one. And you can convince yourself of anything. Like, it's really, what you're asking is like for a person on an individual basis to be like really logical about their decision making. And that's something that I think requires therapy more than
well, and like in the military context, it is like perhaps a little easier to identify. It's like, is someone literally gonna die?
Yes.
That's extremely harmful.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But like if you're a company that throws parties for celebrities and you have to choose between red or blue plates for an event, I don't know. The wrong decision could be extremely harmful to your company. I don't
Mhm.
understand enough about your company to know.
Yeah. Your
It
party,
also is a bit.
your catering.
Your part, yeah. If it's a Democratic convention, you choose red plates.
You've
That might
blown
be
it.
the end of your party business.
Yeah, or a crip convention.
Oh my God, someone could die.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be as simple as choosing a wrong plate color, and now someone's dead.
So
this is
thanks,
I'm
book.
not a leader. Yeah, thanks a lot, book. You
Murderer.
got somebody
I
killed.
It's also a bit frustrating that the advice, the section we're talking about is essentially the advice is pick your battles, which is like a cliche that leaders and people should already know and use. It's like, why do you get to write a book about it? Just because you did military things that are, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a bit unfulfilling, I would say.
Yeah. A criticism I had immediately as the audiobook started was that they kick it off by talking about the first book and extreme ownership, and how the readers and the world really demanded that there be this second book, because they said like leaders read it and they were applying its principles, and I was like, were they applying the principles because they read this book or because they knew a lot of them? Which again, a lot of leaders I have seen and witnessed do not know this information, and they need this, and honestly I would give it to them.
I kept thinking about this one crappy boss I had, and it was like, he's too far gone for this. It's like, I don't
know
know.
what you mean.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about a good boss that I have, and how like I kept trying to envision this, like his logic in certain scenarios, and like it was like, oh yeah, he is like, he'll be like really, like he'll get really mad about stuff occasionally in a way that like sets a tone and it's authoritative, and you're like, all right, well, don't mess with me.
Yeah.
But then most of the time super easygoing and relaxed and helpful, but you're like, there's just a little tiny bit of fear mixed in, just the right amount, just a pinch.
I don't think I would work well. My current boss is only nice, and that really works for me.
Yeah. My boss is only nice, but I think that there's like she does a great job of like a balance between like really serious, and then also another big principle, decentralizing the leadership and really trusting the people. So,
it's like I don't want to let him down when I'm doing stuff.
Yeah,
for sure,
because he's a friend, a nice friend.
Yeah.
And I think that's a better way. I would rather have that than any of the other things.
I think that only works for generally good employees. Not only works, but it works.
Well, I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying.
I feel like it's being implied that I'm not a generally good employee.
That's part of why I like what you're saying.
No, I'm saying other stuff could work. Other stuff could work, but
I think a little hint of fear I do respond to. Just a hint.
I guess we all do a bit, because like, remember how just because Sarah's not here and how we're a little bit scared, but it's not really helping. It's not really helping a little bit of fear.
I agree. I need a little bit of fear. And work though, it honestly just pisses me off.
Really?
Yeah,
you buck against it.
Yeah,
it's a bit infantilizing.
Yeah.
I think I like knowing there's a powerful hand above me that could squash me, or squash my enemies if needed.
Squash my enemies, fine. You make me think you're gonna squash me, I'm a quit. Now, I would say my career doesn't bear that out. I was at the same job for 8 years.
The hand's gentle with me, Sabrina. It's not going to squash me. I just know that it could.
Yeah.
But it would never. It squashes bugs and it squashes problems in my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't squash me.
Okay.
Better not.
No.
Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Anything else in the book?
No, I think that there were a lot of good principles. And the afterword, I think, was like a great way for me to receive those. The afterword was essentially saying, like, being a leader is made up of so many dichotomies, like we can't list them all. And they started to just like list additional dichotomies of like, you've got to learn to balance this with this. And I was like, yes, yes. And you didn't have to have like the war story or the business application. So I think as a listicle, I really enjoyed the content.
Yeah, that's not what I got from it. I guess because I don't really plan on being a leader at any point.
That's how I feel.
Mhm.
I've tried it, and
Yeah, I'm not good
goes
at it. So
well. Yeah,
I don't
like, as
like
a
telling
kid,
people what to do. I don't like being in that
Hmm.
position. It makes me
I
uncomfortable.
don't even like picking a restaurant.
Mhm.
I don't like going
Mhm.
first in a path. I love being behind someone, like on a bike.
For example, once I was a referee in a
Mhm.
basketball game and I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate stopping everything and being like, I think a mistake was made. I can't stand it and I can't do it. And
Yeah.
that's just a little preview into
I've
learning I'm not going to be a leader.
So I've refed softball, and I will agree I'll never be a ref. But I think what's funny is I guess I've just like I've never questioned that is what I am and will be as a leader. Like,
Leader. Mhm.
didn't even
Mhm.
occur to me that not being a leader was an option.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sabrina once said,
Huh.
this is really crazy.
Worried.
We were talking about the whole group of friends, and if we were ever stranded on a deserted island, like, 17 people, plane crash, deserted island, who would rise up to be the leader? And Sabrina got really sad and serious as we
Forgot about
walked
this.
along. And I said, Sabrina, who do you think it would be? And she said, very deadly serious, well, I think it would be me. And not because I wanted it, but I think I think it would be thrust upon me by the group. It would be because I didn't want it, but
Oh,
everyone would
leadership.
know that I was the most
So-
fair and obvious choice.
I guess leadership has a lot to do with self-confidence, is what I'm learning.
Yeah. I don't even want it.
Like both of our
Even in this fictional
examples,
scenario,
it's just my destiny.
to assume that it's your destiny takes so much confidence.
Yeah.
just ingrained confidence. And then my example of like, I don't like refereeing is like saying, I think
Wow.
shows a an extreme lack of self-confidence.
I do think I would love refereeing. I never got the
I think
opportunity
you
to do
would.
it.
I
But
think you
holy
would.
shit, there's a set of rules that I know better than anyone else, and they're in my little book.
Well,
And
that's
see,
an
that's
assumption.
the
Well, that's an
problem.
assumption.
That's the problem.
Do you really know it
When
better than others?
I
you
do.
You have
ref,
to act like it.
yeah. That was what I didn't like about refereeing. I was like, "Ooh, I think that's
Yeah,
the
it's not like
rule." Like,
nobody gave me a little book. It's to read
I assumed
beforehand.
a little book
It
came
was
with
in
it,
like
but
a gym class.
no, the idea that there's an objective right and wrong, and that when people do the wrong, it's my job to blow a little whistle and say they were
This is
bad.
making me like you less.
Oh my God.
It's like you're
Oh
not
my
listening
God.
to me. You're just going on with your fantasy in which you're a person I don't like.
I can't believe I've never refereed. I mean, this would be such a place for me to get out some frustrations. You know what I'd really like to do? I'd like to be in charge of a line that leads to something, and I have sole authority of kicking people out forever if they
wow.
disrespect the line in some
A
way.
line.
Mhm.
So some sort
I
of
would love that.
bouncer's assistant.
But there's no cheating in my line. It's just, it purely is based on when you've arrived at the line.
Wow.
It's a completely orderly line. And oh boy, yeah.
That's
really
incredible.
nice.
I told you my story. I won't bore everybody else with it, but I could have used an assistant to a bouncer when I was trying to get my free New York Liberty bomber jacket.
New York Liberty is the lady basketball team in New York, and they gave out free jackets. And Sabrina waited in some sort of chaotic, hostile environment for several hours to get her free little jacket.
Yeah,
But you
it's
got
a
it.
sick jacket. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I see an Instagram where you were courtside?
Oh yeah.
How'd they get to do that?
That was the same event actually.
Mhm.
The game was not happening. I was just sitting in the courtside seats to
Oh, okay.
pretend. I looked up how much the courtside seats were, and seems like that event was really my only shot based on
Gotcha.
the price.
Maybe
But
outside of New York.
What chaos. There's a line to get these jackets. It's out of control. People are just walking in, sitting in courtside seats. I believe I saw a video of you on the court itself.
Yeah.
You could, what
Playing
is
with-
this?
Playing
What
near
is
the
this?
net, playing in and around
The-
underfoot of these basketball women.
It was really cool. I'm a season ticket holder in case anybody wants to say hi.
Yeah, I would
many
have
guest
maybe liked to have
spots
said
do you
hi
get?
at the games had you told me you were buying season tickets, but nobody mentioned, so now it's too late.
You want to get, it's actually not too late. There's a seat right beside my seats.
What's too late, Sabrina? I'm not really.
Yeah.
I'd be a hanger on. I'd be a glob on.
2 seats even beside. Yeah. Put your money where your mouth is. Scrabus.
To be included in something that I don't even want to do at all.
Wow. No love for women's sports.
No, not really. No.
It's really a shame. I'm really regretting leaving New York at this point. Right
Oh yeah,
now.
Could you
you
imagine?
would have.
I would
You
have
would have got
liked this.
tickets
I
with
could have,
me.
yeah, I would
In
have
that
sat next
seat.
to you.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't have even been invited right away, Claire. You'd have to wait to hear about it on a podcast, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I guess I can scrounge around for these scraps next to you."
I know that Clara loves basketball, so I would have.
And we're really good friends, so she probably would have.
I don't really care for women's sports. That's true.
Get out of here.
It's just that the men are so much more physical. It's like, there's just such more of a threat of violence.
Oh, and this can also get us back to the book in that the book was for men.
Oh,
that was quite clear throughout.
That's why it's black and white, so you don't get confused and think it's a lady book.
Yeah. Every now and then
No
they
need
would
for color.
be like, whatever man or woman was in charge. I was like, all right, you don't have to. You're not, we know you don't mean it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I guess it's nice that they said that kind of thing every now and then.
Yeah. Throw it in there. Their editor
Yeah.
probably did.
Oh, we should probably take a commercial break. And we're back.
I think those are all my thoughts about it. I think we got
Yeah.
it. As that tangent as that 25-minute tangent may have implied.
I
Yeah.
guess we could do that act out I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Can you describe it again? I've forgotten.
So it's
I assume the listener has as well. Apologies if they haven't.
I doubt it. They hang up.
They've been waiting the
word.
whole time for it.
They have it written down on their little notepad. I can't wait to get to this. I imagine people they pay attention to all the times they get cut off. I'm just kidding. We all know it's me that does all the cutting off. Anyway.
We all do a lot of cutting off, and it's
Okay.
really what it's the lifeblood of the cast.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is a mining company that had to close one of their mines, and the regional manager of the mining company is like, "Oh man, you are this consultant, Jocko, that came in, and you want to tell me I have to fire 140 of my employees. You don't get it." It's basically the starting place.
I could be Jocko.
Great. I can be the regional manager.
I can be one of the employees. I'll just fill in. I'll fill in the employees, the sound effects, whatever you need.
I think the idea of having one of the employees sitting in this meeting is fun. Okay.
Regional manager, do you know why I called you here today?
Yeah, because you just want to slash my employees to make a quick buck for the company. I know all about you corporate types.
You think I'm just a corporate type, but I know what I'm talking about. Okay?
Oh, please, you come down here in the holler and you tell me you know what it's like to have a friend working for you that's going to lose his job.
That's me.
That's right.
Listen,
Dean here.
listen. I do know. I know. You don't want your friends to lose their jobs, but guess what? If you don't fire your friend who sucks and is bad for this company, you know who's next to get fired? It's you, brother.
Look, of course Dean sucks and is bad for this company. No one's disputing that.
I've been sick, so that might be part of it.
He's weak and he needs to go, but I'll tell you another thing. Dean's a father, all right? And he's not just Dean's not just a number to me. I called him right here into my office. He's sitting here drinking my coffee. He craps in my executive bathroom, don't you, Dean?
It was just number one. You said it was okay if I used it.
And you come in here with all your big numbers and your figures, and you don't fucking get it, what it's like to be boots on the ground of the mine with these men.
You think I don't know what it means to be boots on the ground?
You don't know what it means.
You think I don't know what it means to be boots on the ground and that I think that one of your men is just some number?
Yeah, I've said it like 50 times.
You know why that's not true?
No.
I know.
Why,
I know what it's
stupid?
like. I know what it's like to have boots on the ground. I know what it's like to have people who aren't numbers. I know better than anyone. And you know why?
Oh, why?
Because I served in the military.
Oh shit! I'm fired. I'm fired. Okay, I'm really sorry. I'll just
Wow, yeah, he's fired. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you served in the military. I can't believe I'm an idiot.
And that is how you business.
Scene.
Good, Sabrina.
Good. That is kind of what happened in his story.
It really is.
And I guess that it would probably work that way. He kind of set him up to be like, you don't know what it's like, and then he can say like, I know what it's like. I've had my friends die, and he can't really say much
What can
in
you
response.
say after that?
Yeah, he can't. He can't.
No.
But it's not a takeaway lesson for us in the business world.
Yeah, I mean, now you're you're encouraging me to make up stories basically at this point.
You're encouraging stolen valor.
Now we're approaching stolen valor because it feels like that's the only way this works for me. And I feel like that is,
and that's on them. That's on them.
And that's what they're asking for, and that's a little bit on them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that really does encapsulate a lot of the book.
and
And also how long it took to
Yes.
to get to it.
I didn't want to take the bait right away. I wanted it to be true to the book.
Very good, I think.
And that was true to the book.
That was the first third of the book.
Yeah.
And now we will tackle the second third. Are we ready, ladies?
And that should get us right to the end.
What more do we have? We've got Princess of the Cast. We've got Goodreads. We've got Little Hunter. We've got our hate rates, and we've got a special new segment that we haven't thought of yet, but that's coming up. We decided we're not taking commercial breaks.
And we also forgot.
But hypothetically, if we were taking commercial breaks, now would probably be a good time for a while.
Yeah, but we're not going to.
Sarah's not here, so
And we're not back because we didn't take a commercial break.
Okay. Good reads, right? Now,
Yes.
Sarah usually finds those.
I
So-
found
But it
them.
looks like Sabrina did it.
I did it.
Sabrina.
Yeah,
Good
I was
job.
doing
Yeah,
it.
really good.
Okay.
Really good.
I picked 3 good ones, I think. Okay.
We'll be the
Abby
judge.
says, so good. I started reading this book as soon as I finished Extreme Ownership, their first book.
Okay,
And
Abby.
even with as much as I loved Extreme Ownership, I love Dichotomy even more. I really appreciate the whole message of balance. Balance in everything, especially the leadership traits and principles taught in this book. The only thing I think would have improved this book, and Extreme Ownership too, is to demonstrate application to other areas of life besides business. I know Jocko does a lot of business consultation, but I would love to read how one would apply these principles to life, family relationships, teacher-student relationships, etc. But this book
Figure it
is
out.
still straight fire even without that. Go read this book. It will blow your mind.
I think it goes back to what I was saying about the actual advice being kind of cliche, like pick your battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's funny, like this is a business book specifically. So it's
Mhm.
not really meant to tell you how to live your relationships and your
I do like the idea of
future.
like, how do I apply extreme Navy SEAL tactics to my relationship? Because I'd like to win these arguments.
That is really funny. Yeah, that's not probably a direct correlation. I'm sure there's overlap, certainly, like
I mean, pick your battles works.
yeah, protect them so they don't die. That works too.
Don't let them die.
Okay, Matt says, one of my favorite books, concise stories and simple lessons of leadership, period. Here's what I
Period.
like about this
I
review.
thought it was going to be a concise review too.
It is, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a concise review. I love that. So Matt values concision, but also I did not feel that the stories were concise.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he values it, but does he know what it is?
I wonder what he thinks it
Maybe
is.
it's one of those words he's only ever said, but he's never read. So
He's never read. He
So he
doesn't
doesn't
know
know
the
what it
context.
means.
Doesn't really know what it means.
And then our last one, Joel says, a balanced counterpart to his earlier book, Extreme Ownership. I reread these books once every year as they are so brilliant. Good men take ownership / responsibility for everything God blesses them with. These books continue to help me realize that there is more around me I can take responsibility for, and gives me very practical tools for doing so well. Highly recommend, especially for men. But my wife loved it too.
Okay, well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I feel bad for his wife. Like I did before he said his wife liked the book when he was like, there's more around me I could take responsibility for. Seems like a bit of a headache there.
Yeah.
Just like, please put that down. It's fine where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need you owning this, Joel.
Yeah. I don't have an example, but I'm thinking about, but you get it.
Yeah.
I don't have like a joke.
Joel, I organized the spices the way I want them. I do not want you moving them to a different drawer far away from where I mix spices. But the garage has so much space.
I'm taking leadership.
Yeah, so that's that. I think we can do hate rates. 5-star reviews. Just hate rates. We already did 5-star
Hate
reviews.
rates. Okay, I'm start. I'm rating this book 5 out of 5. It's
What the
2
fuck?
Iraq War veteran Navy SEAls. What am I? Are you crazy? This is a 5-star book. Hayden, you set us up to get canceled. You set us up to fail. And I didn't take the bait. I teased a little bit, but I hope it's not in a way that makes Jocko or Leif or any of their comrades hate me. Maybe we don't say comrades. Maybe that's too communist.
Oh, right.
Uh-oh.
Hard to know. We
I
don't
really
know.
just
It's not our
stepped in it. We
world.
don't know. Maybe if I'd read the book more closely, I would know, but it's all out of my mind and gone even before it started. 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. Okay. John has a good point. I don't want to get canceled, but before I heard that, my answer was going to be 3 out of 5 stars. I'm going to keep it 3 out of 5.
Think that.
I'm going to keep it where it was, because honesty is important. I respect their service. Now, I also liked the way it broadened my mind because I've never
Okay.
really thought
A real
about
compliment.
soldiers.
Yeah.
And that thing I was talking about where it was like, wow, yeah, you can't be panicky at all, huh? You have to be,
Mhm.
was just an interesting thing to think about that I've never thought about before because I don't think
Mhm.
about army. I guess I shouldn't be saying our military would be the general term there.
That encompasses. I think
mhm,
army
just-
means all of them, though.
Okay.
Just
Well,
kidding.
just an
No,
example of how
no.
I
I'm
don't.
kidding.
I was just
I
kidding.
panicked.
Okay.
I panicked.
It's just an example of how it's outside my world. But it was also impossible to sit through as an audiobook. I guess for the same reason that it's not something I'm interested in, like the business side of it. And once you think, it's a bit outside my world. It's a bit like Sabrina was saying, the sentences really run together as the same. It's a bit same. Like once I had it playing in another room and I like forgot that was part of it. And I was in another room doing something else, but that's
Mhm.
fine. You can jump right back in, which is actually a negative for me because like I'm saying, it's hard to sit there. Okay, 3 out of 5. I'm done. I'm not gonna talk myself into a cancellation here.
Yeah, oh my God. I think I'm a 3 out of 5 as well. Of course, my gratitude for their service. 5 out of 5. But for me, points were lost, especially in the audiobook machine gun sounds, which
Mhm.
like truly startled me multiple times. I did not like that. It made me scared.
What time speed did you listen on? Because I wonder if that made them scarier.
It was 3 times speed.
Mhm.
Okay, I
'Cause
think
yeah.
it would be
yeah,
an
okay, that
absolutely
might be.
terrifying speed to hear a machine
Yeah,
gun
I
fire.
guess so. Well,
Already really fast.
you're gonna have listeners listening that fast. You gotta know.
Mhm. If it's an
Um,
option in
yeah.
the library book, then you need to
Yeah.
write to that.
So I don't know what else to tell you. And yeah, I mean, I do think that they were good principles. I will apply them when it is inevitably thrust upon me, the burden of leadership. But, just not really like I'm not the target audience.
Yeah.
On-
Me
I
either.
agree.
Me
Yeah.
either.
But we tried. Look at us, though. We did it, even though we
Yeah.
weren't the target. It wasn't easy for us. It wasn't just a thriller we could read in one day. This was a real
Mhm.
book.
It was really hard to read.
And I had to read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we little fucker or
Little
princess
fucker.
of the cast?
Princess
first?
of the Cast,
Princess of the Cast.
which could really inform Little Fucker.
It really could. Okay.
Okay.
I
Who's
have
gonna
my
be
vote.
princess of the cast?
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Kick us off.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I have my vote for Princess of the Cast. Oh no, now I'm. Oh well.
What happened?
Oh, what
Oh.
happened?
She seems pretty upset.
I can't go. I
Okay.
can't decide,
Okay.
actually.
Oh my God. Is
Okay,
it between
well-
you and someone else, Sabrina?
No.
Let me
I
start
assume
by
you can't
saying
vote for yourself.
I know who. Okay, you can't vote for yourself.
Well,
That's a rule.
The rule's not set in stone.
The rules. Here's what I know. I know that I can't vote for Jonna for this because she pretended it was her idea when it was like a really good idea, and it was 100% Sabrina's. So, and then it's between me and Sabrina. I had a hard time with the computer today.
Yeah.
So I don't really think, unless it's a little bit consolation prizey to make me feel better, but that doesn't, I'm not a baby. I don't need that. Sabrina, by default, you are princess of the cast in my voting.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So beautiful. Does that clarify your vote for you, Sabrina?
It does a little. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead,
Here's
sweetheart.
Here's where I was.
Shauna just called you sweetheart in
I
an
know.
attempt to curry favor.
Clara
Sweetie.
quickly came to my defense when you deliberately tried to steal my
I'm
joke.
still astounded.
Which, like, I just need the listeners to know that a joke that Jonna has toward me is that sometimes she steals what I said and then pretends that she didn't. Like one time,
Unbearable.
remember when we were visiting you, Clara, and I said,
Oh yeah.
and I said that like you were. Well, this was crazy because I said to you that I felt like you were really thriving in motherhood, and Jonna just lied and said, "No, I said that," and Sabrina stole it. And I was like, "That's the."
I believe what you guys
craziest-
said was that I was funnier, which really
Oh,
made
yeah.
me feel good. It really made me feel good. That's why I remembered it. And I'm so glad I voted for you for princess, just for bringing that up.
So I was really like, that's why I like really wanted to do Clara. And then on the other hand, I was like, you know, I know Jonna's had a really hard day. She only got like an hour and a half of sleep.
It's true.
Like there have been these technical difficulties, and Jonna has like powered through the whole
Problem.
time.
Yep.
What a
Oh, a
champ.
pity prize?
But well, just like strength, you know.
Strength prize,
Mhm.
Clara.
But
Fucking
then I like had to make a decision, and your vote made me realize that I could, in fact, vote for myself. And here's the thing. I had this really good idea about Princess of the Cast. I too have been here the whole time, and I wasn't stealing anybody's lines. So I feel like I feel like it has to be, I vote for me.
Wow. What a fucking bullshit thing.
Go ahead and
I'm
vote, Jonna.
Voting for Clara
Thank
for the
you.
reason you brought up, Clara, the technology thing, but for a less flattering reason. It's not out of pity. It's more about sort of like the idea that someone who's brought up in such an ivory tower, such as a princess, would be unable to do just like basic human things to care for themselves. And just something as simple as plugging or unplugging a cord is something that you've only ever relied on the servants to do.
Well,
And you yourself
I plugged
are
it in.
basically
I plugged it in.
no capacity
just fine
to do simple
and
care
then
tasks.
I didn't get any
Wow.
And
So
so
Jonna
princess
turned princess
Wow.
into an insult.
in the sense of a sick princess,
All
like
right.
an inbred, dying.
Now,
Okay, I have-
here's the kicker, Jonna. I mean,
Now it's-
as
Yeah.
princess, I feel it is my duty to announce that we still are going to do little fucker.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
My vote is for Jonna. Obviously.
Okay. Well, my
Obviously.
vote is obviously. Wait a second. How fucking dare you, Clara? After I sent you.
Yeah, you went over the edge. You pushed it me too far. Went from ivory tower princess to inbred princess seamlessly, as if those are the same thing or would have similar outcomes and personality of the princess or abilities of the princess. No, you pushed me over the edge.
Okay.
You got me chocolate covered strawberries a month ago.
Okay.
And
well, you're obviously a little fucker. I try to like do nice things for my friends, and I think about them, and
okay.
then this,
okay.
Is
Well, I'm not
how
obviously a little
rewarded.
fucker. I have one vote. I have your vote.
Okay, well, I think the writing's on the wall. Sabrina, go ahead and finish her off.
Okay. In the spirit of being a benevolent and well-bred princess.
We're never doing Princess of the Cast again. I'm not joking. I hate it. That's a tie.
Well, it's not your segment, Jonna, so you don't really get to describe that.
I think I'll also vote for myself. as the little asshole, little fucker.
Oh.
Oh, but then we'll all be little fucker.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that was
it
better to me
stings.
than choosing in this moment.
Yeah, it's hard with 3.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
we could vote for Sarah.
Oh yeah.
I just realized.
She's, her screen is logged in.
Yeah.
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 She leaned her face in once, which is
If
like,
we-
oh, you're
Big
home.
smile, like a big little smile.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't
If
know,
we do
like,
that
all
though,
the
then I
things
think
we've
that
said.
It's
she'd have
too
a good
late, though.
argument that she could also be princess.
Mm.
Well, we're not going to be princess.
Yeah, it's not a bit crazy.
And we've all already voted, so I mean,
Yeah,
we
it's too
realized
late.
too late.
Just
We
because
realized
Yeah.
too
to be
late.
fucker, yes, I think there's still time.
So hear ye, I princess fucker.
Okay.
You got me back in with Princess Fucker. I was ready to be annoyed.
What are we reading next week, guys?
It's
We're
over.
not. It's the end of the
It's
season.
over.
It's the end of the
This
season.
was our season finale because we didn't want to read this book the most, so it got pushed.
Yeah. Usually we try to end with a big ticket item, but
We'll probably do a Patreon bonus time.
We definitely hope
So
to.
Yeah.
Just a kind of a crazy year for us, but that's our plan.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of babies this year. A lot of babies
Love
coming out.
babies. But we're having fun. We all talked about it. We love doing this so much. We're gonna take a
Oh,
little
yeah.
break for the
I think that-
babies. It's
yeah.
obvious. I know it's clear.
Yeah, it's
Take a little
obvious
break.
by the way
welcome
we
some babies, but
attack each other. We're having a wonderful time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we miss you already. We'll be back next season. Please send us your
You can
recs in the meantime.
Find us on all socials. We're at Mean Book Club, and email us meanbookclub@gmail.com. You can sign up for the Patreon, get that bonus episode
Mhm.
if it comes. No, it's gonna come.
It's gonna come.
It's
Yeah.
gonna come. It's gonna come. And it's gonna be.
It could be
so good.
mid-season, so this could be
It could have
stale.
already
You already
come.
know
Oh
it's
my
coming.
god.
Yeah.
I gotta
know.
stop talking about it.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. See you soon.
Great work, everybody. And I
Best
mean
Bye.
you.
wishes.
Best wishes.
Best
Stay
wishes.
well.
Can't
And
wait to
also
see
with you.
what books you have for us
Oh my
next
gosh, I
time.
know. Those idiots that your book club books. God. Okay.
Your friends.
Your friends,
More.
your so-called friends.
Yeah.
And
Tell me about it.
scene.
Tell me about it.
Bye.
Bye. Really good ending, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I
Really
agree.
strong. Really strong.
Strong.